Good morning to everyone. Lee and I wanted to jump on here this morning and have a conversation regarding the difference between working on and in your business. And we were kind of going along the lines of what we had talked about last week. That was the intention. However, when we talked about it last night, this is a subject that I think about often as I'm building a new business, but also I feel like it is a very good conversation to have with somebody like Lee, who is newer in the process and embracing being an entrepreneur because of the fact that working on or versus in your business is not a concept, in my opinion, that you think of a lot when you first start out as an entrepreneur. Just because all you realize, or all you think about is, I have this big list. I have this huge list. I've got to get through it. And it's very easy to get lost in the VA work and the post-it notes, in my opinion, in my case, versus actually being able to do things that are considered working on versus in. So, if we want to start out, Lee, do you want to, in your opinion, what's the difference? Because I know you said you had been doing research. We talked about it this week. And then I'll speak from more, again, experience and also how I personally have, always hope that I differentiate and do the best to keep the balance between the two.
Okay.
And good morning, by the way.
There you
Sorry,
go.
apologize. Hi, good morning, Lee.
Good morning, Misty.
I'm just like all business today. I apologize. It's
That's
been,
okay. It's early. It's Friday.
it doesn't even feel like Friday. And let me just,
I know, right?
for 1 second. No, and it's a good reason. This is the best reason possible. I'm so freaking busy. I don't know what day it is. Sundays feel like Thursdays right now. Last Sunday I looked up and it was like 7 p.m. and I'm like, I don't even know
Where the whole day
what
went.
day it is. What am I supposed to do right now? And my boyfriend's like, you're supposed to just sit on the couch. It's Sunday night. I'm like,
Yeah.
uh can I do that? I don't know. Like it's just, again, a season of busy right now. So it's not a bad thing. It's just, again, days are blurring together.
Yeah.
Things are getting done. Major things are getting done. And I will go into that a little bit in context to this conversation. So how was your week, Lee? How are you doing? Let's start there, because that is the best part of the day for me, is talking to you, because that's why we started this. It was
Exactly.
us talking, not talking at people, talking to each other. So
All
how are
right.
you doing today? Let's start there, because that's way better subject. Go for
Well, I'm doing good. Happy it's Friday. Um,
it. Mm-hmm.
I just been busy, working my 9 to 5, and working on our business and our getting our game plan and everything like that together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never ever know what day it is, to be honest with you. Even though I work with dates all day long, sometimes I'm like, what day is it? What?
So,
Yeah. So I know how you feel, but yeah, week is good. I'm just happy now it's over.
well, good. Yeah, it's funny because my boyfriend and business partner, obviously your business partner too, has been home recovering from his shoulder surgery. And a couple times a week, he's like, hold on, what day is it? Because he's not used to the lack of structure of his 9 to 5. So it has been quite interesting for him too. I kind of laugh, and I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the fact, I'm like, yep, welcome. This is the, yeah.
Right.
I have to, or
Welcome
if
to my world.
the worstly is if somebody tells me, oh my God, at least it's Thursday. And then I realize later that it's actually Tuesday. It really disrupts my schedule. I'm like, oh, that was not cool. Like, nobody
Right.
means it intentionally, but it really isn't cool in my head. So,
Well,
anyways,
it's funny because I did that once. Well, I probably done it a couple times, but that I remember. So, like for work, because I work from home 3 days a week, we have like a whole good morning group that everyone says good morning to each other. And there was one week that it was, what the heck day was it? I think it was a Wednesday. And I said, Happy Friday Eve.
oh,
And someone was like, today is Wednesday, not Thursday. I was like, oh, damn.
so you messed it up for the whole group, huh?
The whole entire group. I just shattered a whole bunch of people's worlds.
Well, at least you did it like complete. Like, you really did it.
Right,
So
exactly.
good for you. So, do you want to kick off the discussion of working on versus in? And again, I am so happy we're having these discussions because of the fact that where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, I truly believe all of this that we're doing together is going to aid you so much in not making mistakes that other people made. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know, that it's just hopefully we'll shorten that timeline. So go for it. What is the difference, in your opinion, between working on and working in?
Okay, so working on your business, that is, as we talked about, like business strategy, marketing strategy, having a game plan, plans for how you're going to market, who you're going to reach out to, things like that. Something that actually makes your business run. Working in your business is creating and retaining customers. If you're a customer based or client-based company, delivering services, administrative work, someone who like an employee would do.
Yes.
That is working in your business. So, it was interesting because the information I found actually specifically talked about smaller businesses, which, being entrepreneurs, that's what we have, a smaller business. So small business owners can actually carve out some time to look at the big picture of their company. They can, what does it say? It talks about being the CEO, but not trying to do every single thing yourself in your business. There comes a point where you do need help to get help, whether it be a friend that that is willing to help you, or having to white label something, or even bring like a TA. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, VAs or
Yeah, right.
TAs, or the other option too, Fiverr. There's options for even swapping or collaborations.
Yes.
There's so many different methods you can use. And it is funny because when you start out, it's you're learning how to articulate your vision. So it's like, how am I going to tell somebody else what I need? Because I don't even know what I need. So there is a learning curve there too. So what else do you have about this then?
Well, something that I thought was very interesting, because it's the same exact strategy or the same plan that you have implemented at Grit and King. And it talks about, let me see where I can find it. Like standard operating procedure, basically.
Yes.
So and I'm gonna use you as the example because it's real, and this is our world. You've created a system in doing oh my god, social media, with the content posting. You have steps, you have things that people do.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not like saying it right. I can't.
No, you're doing a perfect job. I disagree.
Okay.
I think you're doing a great job.
So you have set up a system where you train, say, me, how to do content and the best ways, the best times to post that content, generating leads, the best way to generate leads, the different ways that you can find either services or on your own find ways to be able to do that. So you have set up a system where once I learn it, I could train someone else.
Yes.
But it's to the point where once someone learns it, everyone does the same thing. So if a new person comes in, that person is trained and they take off in the same exact way as everyone else did. And it's documenting that, actually having a physical standard operating procedure. A person could come in, whether it's a new hire, and follow the operating procedures and be able to do what they need to do. Or if you have them for each position in your company, someone could step up and look at the standard operating procedures and be able to do whatever that person who's in that role does.
Yes.
So that was one of the important things, and that's working on your business,
Mm-hmm.
because those who you bring on to work in your business will be able to keep your, company running smoothly with or without, certain people being there.
Well, somebody actually asked me about this yesterday during a call and asked, why do we do it that way? Like, what was my methodology behind it? And I explained, because as we grow, instead of going CEO down, as in a normal corporate environment where they give you the directions, we've built from bottom up, meaning that our foundation is solid. So everybody that rises with our company, as they have been, the person that reports to them, the person they've trained, is just as educated as the person that was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, my ultimate reason, is if there's ever a breakdown as we grow bigger and bigger, and again, right now, I am obviously aware of everything that's going on every day in our business. As we grow bigger and bigger, I will not be aware of everything that goes on daily. And I'm very cognizant of that as we build and we're scaling. My reason, pure and simple, is if something stops working, anybody can ask two questions. Is it the person that just isn't the right fit, as in they're just not the right fit, it's just not vibing, working for them? Or is it a structure problem? Is it a system problem? Those are the only two questions we'll ever have to ask when we're reevaluating how we do something within the business. So that's always been my reason. And I know that's a very high level answer, but that's just for me. I've always looked at it as a business is only as strong as its foundation, and structure is strength. So those are the two very important things that I always think about as I'm building things, as we're scaling things. Did you have anything else? Because I don't want to get on a tangent.
No, that was
Okay.
basically it.
Okay. So the difference for me, and you nailed it, and you said because of as we hire, that's exactly the ultimate reason, is scalability. But for me, it's also as simple as I look at it from the viewpoint of, when they tell you give somebody the big picture versus the detailed version. I believe working inside of your business is the details. Working on your business is the vision.
Mm.
That, for me, that's just how my brain retains it. And you have to balance between the two. It's very easy to want to do the colors, the logo, and then go out and network. There's several steps in between. But as you scale, you have to balance in between both. For example, and this is where I was going to give some examples of how I've been trying to retain that balance. Like, for example, today I blocked it off that I can't take any meetings today. I've had meetings for the past about 2 weeks straight, which has been wonderful because, again, that's working on my business. Today I need to work in my business more. That is something that I have to do. So I just actually told my boyfriend last night when we met about our something we were working on for our business, our new program. I told him, I said, listen, I have to retain that balance of having a couple of days, or at least one, but hopefully 2 days a week where I do not take any meetings. Even if the other days I get up even earlier, even though I'm already getting up super early, but get to my first meeting at 8 or so, right at this time, and then have a longer day of meetings, but then 2 or 3 days, hopefully a week, I won't. So I also believe in theme days, as in like Thursdays. It's been my rule for a long time, and I've kind of gotten away from it. So this is a great reminder to me to not take meetings as well, that I can work on for a couple of hours some of my passion projects, because I have a manuscript I'm working on, things like that too. So those are the things I'd like to work on, but it almost feels guilty to work on them when I have my business that needs more attention.
Mm-hmm.
I nicely was reminded by one of my mentors the other day, that counts too. So, and why am I not giving myself more permission? So, lesson learned. But again, the difference between in and on is detail versus big picture for me. And for me, I believe that it's very important from day one to build your structure and literally build it and build it and build it. And quite honestly, 20 years almost into this, I can tell you, It's never complete. It's never done until you scale, and you're still building and scaling. That's the whole thing. Is when you're building a business, it's like building a remember the Lego tables that we used to have when we were kids?
Yeah.
Did you ever finish?
No, I don't think so.
Exactly. That's the point. You never finish. You have this dream in your head as a little kid. You're like, I'm going to build this there, I'm going to build that there. But the reality is, we don't ever finish because we either run out of time, mom tells us to put it away, or something happens, and then you start again, right? Well, this you don't have to put away or fold it up and put it in the closet before you go to bed. However, the whole point is you're never going to be 100% finished. You are always building and scaling, testing, improving. So I had to stop telling these. I mentioned this, I think, last week or the week before, that I had to stop telling myself that next week I won't be busy anymore. The other one is that the business will be completely done and I'll be sitting on a beach. I decided that lie had to go too.
Right.
It was a beautiful lie.
I would say yes, it was.
It's a beautiful lie, but it just isn't true, so that's okay. But again, though, what I don't allow myself to get stressed about that thought either, because the thought is we are scaling, we are growing, therefore I'll have more hands on deck as that time comes. Mm-hmm. So it is very important. Something I've been learning a lot about lately is the difference between founder and also builder. And being a founder means that you have to keep your head up. You have to keep your eye on the vision for the company. And the builder is the one that does the actual structure. Now, when you're starting out, and I know somebody watching this would say, but I'm by myself. Yep, I know. I know. Okay. And you're both right now. But there will be a day that you actually divide those two. And I do believe part of this conversation needs to be about funding too. A lot of us start out as entrepreneurs and we do not really have a budget, or if we do, we maintain that budget that we have created. Okay, is a great way to put it, because that's how we started. But that makes it very difficult to say, oh, I'm just going to spend $100,000 on this project and try. Yeah, it's not so easy, because it's like, well, what if I don't know what I'm doing yet? What if I invest in something and it doesn't work? So that's where I do believe collaborations and also partnerships do really come in handy. But all of it counts, like I said, for building in and building on, and the difference between the two. And one of the things, I actually purposely put it here for this call this morning. I know this sounds absolutely silly, but I have this out for a reason. You see, it's just poster board, okay? Just simple poster board. Something like that even is awesome when you're building. I don't write out as many lists anymore. I don't write out like, I do a daily list, like on a piece of scratch paper every day, to as I'm on calls, when I remind myself of things that haven't made it to the big list, or things that come up. Like I had to email somebody yesterday, and I finally got to it right before bed at 11 p.m. I literally said, I apologize for the lateness of the evening in my answer. However, I at least answered, and then I was able to rest. But what I like to do is I draw a mind map. So it isn't a linear to-do list. So what I do is, and it can be as silly as crayons, like a little kid. It doesn't matter. It's yours. But what you can do is create not a mind map where you go, okay, I've got to do this, this, and this. What I prefer to do is I go, okay, inside of our company, we have, for example, our landing page. We have our content strategy. We have our business strategy. We have our growth strategy, all of those type of things. So I make bubbles and then put 3 to 5 things you need to accomplish for each of those. One, it keeps you from going absolutely batty from working on the same project over and over again. But 2, it gives you a roadmap of what you need to get done. It also, for me, calms my brain down from the stress of I've got to do everything, to seeing that and going, okay, I can do these things this week and I will have a lot more accomplished. So again, working inside of your business has to be structured to get to the structure, is I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to add to that as well?
No, no, I think that was a very good, you know, explanation of the difference between the two, working in and working on your business. And you've given us some examples.
Well, thank you.
And I know for a fact that they work because I've seen her examples and I know that's how she works. And so I know for a fact that they help her. Now all of us are different, so
Yes.
all of us would have different ways of getting to the smaller goals, structuring our companies, doing our planning and stuff like that. But um, yeah, that's pretty much all the information that I found is
There's
pretty
not much out there about that.
much.
And we will revisit this, that's for sure, and expand on this conversation because it is, unfortunately, I do believe, again, we're talking about female entrepreneurs. We're already so busy normally as life partners, spouses, mothers, even single. It doesn't matter what your status is. You might have cats. It doesn't matter. You have people, things, animals,
Exactly.
parents that rely on you. And
Mhm.
especially, again, too, that a lot of times when we're first starting out, we're also balancing 9 to 5, 40 plus hours plus commuting, things like that. I did it at the beginning. So I actually had a company for 15 plus years. It was very successful. I know I've talked about it before, but because it was so successful and I wanted to build this, I had to build this on top of running my other business. So there was a time I was balancing out a infant company along with a very mature company. And the reason one, I talked about before that I retired because of my health. I had no choice. Lee was the one that could tell anybody, right, that I was going to work with no voice.
Yeah.
I looked like I was on death's door going to work at the end of my last company being open. But the thing that I realized, and this was a very important lesson, was there was no business without me. And that's part of the reason why I've been so careful building at this time is that this has the ability to run 24/7. I could be on an airplane and Lee is still working and we can pull in other people on our team. And, my point is that if I'm having a sick day, which I have some because of my health, this still is functioning.
Yeah.
I have it set up that I can work from even bed if I had to. I normally don't, but I can work. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I wasn't feeling well because of the weather coming through. I sat on the couch with my. I have a couch desk, which Lee has one too. She knows what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And what we do is I can sit on the couch and actually take my calls or my meetings there. I have plants behind me. Everybody always says to me, and they're like, "Oh, that's really pretty. Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm on my couch." So I guess it's a pretty
Kind
background.
of background
Oh,
like mine.
that's the point. Is like we got to make those concessions, and we've got to work around our lives
Yeah.
when we're especially starting out, and that is the hardest time because it's like, well, do I do dishes or do I sit down and make a logo?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, it's like, okay, so there's hard parts of this. I'm
Yeah.
not ever going to tell you there isn't, but it's so rewarding when you just hold your breath, push your head down, and push and push and push. You're gonna look up, and it takes a while. I mean, like my old business again, the first couple of years were pretty rough. I was in mastery of the middle zone, where I'm like, okay, I'm doing everything, and it's still not where I want it to be. And then all of a sudden several events happened in a row that I went from being pretty busy and pretty successful to being slammed busy, in demand in my industry. And it was great. But again, it wasn't overnight and it really took a long time. And it wasn't long time as in like if I look at realistically what I accomplished, but when you're in the day to day in the actual building
Hmm.
inside the business, it does feel like forever. It won't be. It really won't be. So I guess that's the thing. So before we go, Lee, what was your win this week and what did you learn this week? What was your lesson?
Um. Oh my goodness. Well, this is what I'll say because nothing really happened, but like per se, nothing really happened. But I have to say that the fact that sometimes it almost what you said about being kind of frustrated or seems like something is taking too long.
Mm-hmm.
I have been kind of dealing with that like this past week. But regardless of how I'm feeling, I know that I also need to stay patient.
Mm-hmm.
So this to me is a perfect example of where kind of meditating, taking a step back,
Mm-hmm.
calming down is really important to do because you recenter yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, okay, just keep on going. It's you see things happening, you see wonderful things popping up, opportunities, but and you want it to come right now. You just want it to happen, but that's not the way business works.
Yes.
So a lot of just taking a deep breath and continuing on, like you said, put your head down, continue to push because before you know it, when you lift up your head and look ahead, there it is. That the vision that you had is even closer than it was before. So I have learned how to refocus myself,
Mm-hmm.
recenter myself, and say, okay, get back on the horse and keep on riding. So that's a win, I think,
Huge
because
one.
yeah, because it affects if you stay in that. I'm gonna say darkness. If you stay in that darkness, it begins to affect everything around you. And I
Yes.
know that because I had a little falling out with my husband a little bit, and I know it was because of that, because of the stress that I was allowing myself to be under, that kind of made me a little snappy. So that also kind of woke me up. But yeah, you have to get yourself out of the darkness, back into the light, and
Yes.
keep yourself there. So I have been able to refocus, recenter myself. So I think that's a good thing.
Well, first, I'm very proud of you because you're conscious. Before, even a couple of days ago, your stress was unconscious. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
conscious of it. That's huge. And again, that was a huge life lesson from my dad growing up: is being conscious and aware of your behavior, your triggers, your stress cycle, how you react to people. Does that person deserve it? Those kind of
Right,
things. So
right.
that is a very big subject as well. And maybe we'll talk about that sometime. But, and again, how it relates to your business. I've had days, there was a period, especially over the summer, it felt like, because I've been working on certain programs for so long, that it felt like it was kind of like, okay, why am I still working on this if it isn't really going out? Well, now
Mm-hmm.
things are coming together. And I guess that's my win of the week, too. I
Yeah.
worked so hard on a program for a year straight. And I mean, like staying up late, getting up early, worked on it because it had to be on top of our business. And that's something I think a lot of people don't realize. And I had to think about this week for myself. And that's my lesson: is your business is one project. Again, working on is almost like a second project. But then if you're building out offers
Mm-hmm.
or programs or alliances to work with other businesses like I am right now, that's a whole nother project. So we think of it as one big company. I'm sorry, it's wrong. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 projects going all at the same time. And I'm not saying that to discourage anyone. I'm saying it as in, I hate the saying, I don't know why, but it's the only way I can think of is how to eat an elephant. I don't know why that has always bothered me. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, I think I have heard that like once or twice.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you say that to me? They're harmless. Like, that's not
I
fair.
know.
But like that kind of thing. Or how do you what's the one about how many licks does it get to the middle of the
Oh yeah, Tootsie Pop. We
yeah,
actually
let's go
talked
with
about
that
that
one.
like yesterday.
Yes. Let's go with that one because that is way kinder and
Yes, exactly.
I can't. Okay. So, but that's the point: is it's not once. We don't learn things doing it once. We don't build things by doing it once. It is always going to take longer. It's going to always, again, it's not that we're unrealistic with our time. It's just we don't know how much time it's going to take because we've never
Right,
done it before.
right.
Like when I started out and setting up clients, it would take me a week or two. Now I can get it done in a couple hours. That's okay because I've done it several times.
Right.
Everything takes longer the first time around. Everything will. So that has been my grace that I've had to give myself. The win for the week is our new program that's going to be launching January 1st. And I'm not even going to say hopefully January 1st. It is going out January 1st because we've worked on it for a year. So it is, but it's picking up steam. And the other real quick win I'll explain because we're at about a half hour already. This week was I've always been hesitant to talk about things because it's like if I put it out there and then I'm like, well, it's going to be out January 1st, and then it isn't. How does that make me look? And, I've battled that. We all do. But I feel so confident. I actually secured our finished our coaching program that goes with it. And again, it isn't your typical coaching program, and I'll explain more as we're getting closer. But I also was speaking about it to other entrepreneurs, more in a roundtable discussion, networking, like, yeah, this is something we have coming out. And that may lead to one of the biggest alliances we've ever had in our company. So I had to stop yesterday and say, okay, not only was that a win, but it was also a lesson that I'm okay to talk about it because it's not bragging. It isn't at all vanity of look what I created. It's we've worked on this for a year and now we're ready. And then the right people will align with it as well. The right companies.
Exactly.
That was my other win for the week. So,
nice.
Well, Lee, thank you for having this conversation with me this morning. I will tell you, I'm still getting over the mental barrier of getting ready in the morning. Like today, I washed my hair, so I'm still like it's done. Gotta put that back up. I finished because my hair. Lee knows this. It takes like how long to blow dry it? Like an hour, over an hour,
at least.
Yeah, and it had to be done today. And again, we're in our jammies. We're not supposed to be all like completely ready, but it is quite funny getting ready and putting on new jammies. Like in my brain, every time I'm like, wait, oh yeah, jammies, okay. So, and then after this, I have to change because we have to go visit somebody, and then I'm home for work. But today, no meeting, so it might be a jammy day.
Yeah.
Normally, exactly. I can't. No, because if I end up on a call with somebody, I'll be like, so.
Probably you gotta be ready for emergencies or last minute schedulings.
Exactly, but I do appreciate the fact that this also does get me up earlier and ready, meaning makeup and make sure my hair is not sticking up versus sitting on the couch with my coffee in the morning on my laptop. So I do appreciate that. That is, I was thinking about this morning, like, oh, this gets me up and ready earlier. So I do appreciate it. So, well, Lee, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. We do have, you want to talk about podcasts for the next week, lives?
Yes. So Monday, of course, I am live in the morning. And Tuesdays we have slated to release our podcasts.
Yes.
We already have 2 guests that we're going to be featuring. One is Crystal, who was Spotlight for Wednesday.
And her podcast interview will come out in the next week or two.
Next 2 weeks. And then Marisa, she's live on Wednesdays, and then again the both of us on Fridays. But yeah, so we're excited because we actually have podcasts with guests that we're be interviewing. So I hope you all tune in for those, or watch those, I should say, on Tuesday. We'll put a post out just to let you know that they're coming, and then we try to have them out around lunchtime on Tuesdays. So,
however, the workload is getting bigger with the amount of podcasts with our other companies.
Yes.
So around noon-ish is always our goal, because that's the way it's out before the evening. Yes. But sometime within the Tuesday noon-ish range is our goal always. Yes. So
look for those to be on Facebook, and it'll be on YouTube, and we're soon going to be on other platforms.
Yes.
So we'll make those announcements as they come.
within the next couple of days. We're
Yep.
just waiting. We're getting that all lined up because we want to do this right. And we also, it's interesting because the system is in place. That's the thing I'm very proud about. So again,
Yes.
I'm always happy when a system is done, tested, it works.
It works.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Exactly. Well, Lee, I hope you have an absolutely amazing weekend. I get to
Everyone.
see Lee every day now, which
Yes.
isn't never a bad thing considering the longevity of our friendship. But I love it because now we get to do the podcast tapings together, and I find them to be really fun and
Mhm.
just like relaxing. So
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
really excited. Sunday we get to tape 3 more, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And we'll be releasing them. Eventually, we're going to end up putting out 2 in a week, but for now, we're just going to do 1 a week for the moment. So we hope everyone has an amazing day. Lee, as always, thank you for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. I
Yeah,
have so much fun talking to you like
I
this.
know. And thank you for including me. I
Well,
love it. I love
this
it.
is your company too, man. So, and I'm saying that because as if I call you one morning, I'm like, nope, not happening today. You'll be like, man, I'm like, your company? Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I got it.
Which you already do. You step
You're
up
right.
endlessly. So thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
to everyone else, and again, I stole Lee's tagline.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's actually, we started that with the second episode of the podcast, but Lee, you could go for it. I get to say it. I said it on Wednesday. So do you want to do it?
So we say, if we can do it, you can do it.
Yes. And Lee, I love the fact you came up with that. It was perfect. It was brilliant. It's so just simple, but yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, somebody else accomplishes, I can too. So
Yep,
thank you
exactly.
for that beautiful reminder. And everyone have a wonderful day. Lee will be back live on Monday. I'll be Wednesday, and then we'll be back next Friday. Please remember, if you would like to join us,
Oh, yes.
we want to have other people come on the Fridays with us. I think a couple of people are being shy that they'd like to, but they've probably never done this before, which is totally normal. It's okay. We'll talk you through it. We'll be here with you.
Yep.
So we're encouraging everybody, and Lee's going to be reaching out to new members also as well to talk to them about it. So have a great day, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.